I'm Michael Herschensohn, Executive Director of Nortwest Folklife, and we're here at Seattle Center, actually in the Founders Court. This is Memorial Day weekend, and we're looking at wonderful weather. It's cool, but it's clear, and these are the largest crowds I've ever seen at Folklife. It's really, I think, proving that staying at home may be more fun than going away. So Seattle really has a lot to offer, and for the Folklife Festival, which is really about the people of the Northwest and community here, thrives, as all these people around me clearly demonstrate. So this year is really special because we've actually introduced a whole new element related to Canadian and Washington cross-border culture. So I'm off to introduce a concert of Sikh musicians. These are people from India who are going to sing chants, and they all live just around the corner or up on the border in Linden. And then there's another group from Vancouver. These are Dukavors. These are Russian people who immigrated to British Columbia, about 100 years ago. They've maintained their traditions, they've maintained their language, and they're going to be singing in this concert as well. And so that's this whole idea of something new about the cultures of the region is an important part of Folklife, and it's something I'm extremely proud of every year. And then the other thing that I think you'll see is it's new. It's when I started at Folklife, everybody was saying, the audience is getting old and everybody's got gray hair. And now when I look around me here, I'm the only one with gray hair. So we've made a lot of progress, and I tend not to appear in videos because I always want everybody to think everybody's young at Folklife. And our purpose now is not to, keep the folk arts alive. Our goal now is to keep Folklife thriving so that all these young people can come back for another 36 years and take advantage of what Folklife can offer, which is really the largest, best, most exciting community arts festival in the world, I think. But I'm sort of bigoted on this and biased, but it's really special. Well, my day began at 7 o'clock with a wake-up call from Como radio station in Seattle, and they asked me would I do a live interview at 7:30. So I got on, and really one of the wonderful things that's happened this year is that we've been recording the festival. So there's a lot of the festival that's recorded, and it's online at www.nw.folklife. No, let's see, it's www.nwfolklife.org. So if you go online, you can hear the music of the festival, yesterday's music today, and tomorrow you'll hear today's music on our website. And it's a really wonderful, wonderful change that makes the festival available to everybody, and it'll be up for a whole year at least, where people can hear bits and pieces of the festival and understand how folk arts are really thriving in the Pacific Northwest. I always think that I'm inflating the numbers because it's my job to say, oh, well, there were 7 million people here. But actually, I think we've really reached our goal of, we're probably going to end up with 280,000 people at Seattle Center. We have 7,000 performers, and so there's plenty to experience. And then there are all the crafts and the food, and so there's a whole, bevy of opportunities that everybody can have over the weekend, whether or not they go into the theaters and hear the more intimate concerts or just experiencing the community walking around at Seattle Center. Oh, well, fundraising. Well, of course, buried in all this is in the numbers is the likelihood of fundraising success, because we're a bit like your radio station. We have to go out and raise the money since it's a free festival. So we're asking people for money all the time and hoping that we're not alienating anybody. And it doesn't seem to happen. Those who can afford contribute. Those who can't afford know that it's a free festival and come here. And easily, without any inhibitions. Next year's we're going to be focusing on a whole other community, next year's festival, which will have many, many, many of the same elements, different vendors, and certainly we're always looking for more craft vendors and people who are making stuff that in the Northwest who want to share it with a larger public, because it's an area of our work which needs a lot of encouragement. And then, so next year, our cultural focus is going to be on urban Indian culture. And we're beginning to plan that festival, and we're looking at the people who live in Seattle who are Native Americans who are keeping their traditions alive in Seattle. So that's something that ought to be pretty exciting. You know what? Volunteering at Folklife is really important. We have something like, I think there are like 12 or 1,300 people volunteer for the Folklife weekend. It's some like, enormous number, and that's 4 or 5 hour shifts. So they really make it possible for the festival to happen, because without them we couldn't do the fundraising, we couldn't clean up. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that is really, really important, and people pitch in where they can and when they have time. Michael Herschensohn, Executive Director of Northwest Folklife. See you down here at Folklife tomorrow, the day after, or even 2008. Great. Thanks a lot.